I grew my TikTok account to about 40,000 followers, and then I quit the platform. I stopped posting because even with 40,000 followers, I wasn't getting a return on the investment as a creator on that platform. And that's why today I'm sharing some of the things that I think makes TikTok not a great platform for many creators. I'm borrowing from my own experience, and this can help you to have a better picture of TikTok as a platform, especially if you're a creator. Welcome to Monetize Attention. I am jepkendagor, and on this podcast, I like discovering brands, their marketing strategies, and exploring the attention economy. The number one reason that really makes TikTok not a great platform for a lot of creators is something I called empty followers. And actually, TikTok has been one of the key platforms that has made people realize that having a certain number of followers doesn't always mean that you're going to reach your goals, whether it's monetary goals, whether it's having customers for your business. This is because when it comes to TikTok as a platform specifically, it's not creator focused, it's more audience focused. This means the algorithm is always prioritizing what the users want. This is why you will find that a lot of people don't even know the names of TikTok creators, because a lot of people are not there to discover creators, they're just there to discover content that they are interested in. This means that it is harder for a lot of creators on TikTok to create a community because the audiences don't even know you. You always find that you get a lot of followers from one video, and then those people that follow you never ever see any of your other videos ever again. Another thing that creates this phenomenon of empty followers is the fact that a lot of people on TikTok do not actually watch videos, and I have seen this in my own statistics. When I started creating on the platform, I started with about 30-second videos, and then I went to 1 minute 30 seconds, and I always found that 1 minute 30 seconds videos, people are watching only 20 seconds of the video. This basically means that it's really hard to create an engaged audience, because let's be honest, if someone is only watching your video for maximum 20 seconds, creating that rapport is almost impossible because they're just watching and swiping and swiping. After some time, you're just finding yourself with a huge number of followers, but it's not helping you in any way. And when it comes to brand sponsorships, this has a huge impact on you, because it's going to be hard for you to convince a brand to pay you a certain amount of money when they can see that your viewership is always fluctuating, they can see that your engagement is always fluctuating. This means that even if you have like 1 million followers and some of your videos are getting like 10,000 views, you are not going to get as much money as someone who has 1 million followers on YouTube or Instagram. Something else that comes with this empty followers is the fact that it's really hard for you to convert your followers on TikTok to other platforms. This is again because of the fact that TikTok as a platform prioritizes the interest of an audience, because once someone follows you, there's a chance they'll never ever see your video again if you don't create the same type of video over and over. It means that getting to that follower and even convincing them to follow you on Instagram or YouTube, it's difficult. Basically, community building is something that has a very low chance on this platform, and this means that it's going to affect you if you want to be a serious creator, especially in the long term. The other reason that makes TikTok not great for a lot of creators is monetization. This is a fact that as at now, if you're not living either in the United States or a couple of countries in Europe, South Korea, Japan, or Brazil, you cannot monetize your content through the Creator Rewards program. This basically means that if you are anywhere else in the world, you're putting your heart and soul into creating content on a platform that doesn't really care about you, because if they cared, they would be paying you because you're contributing to entertaining, informing, and educating users on the platform, but you're not getting any rewards for it. This is why you can always hear people in Western countries talking about how TikTok is their only job, because they're getting paid on their views. But if you are anywhere else in the world, you don't have that opportunity. But why? That is discrimination. And that's why I'm a huge proponent on really investing in a platform that is going to have a return on investment on you, because imagine you're putting in a lot of effort but you're not getting anything for it. Granted, you can use your TikTok followership for other things. You don't need to be in the Creator Rewards program, but I think that this is something that should be your own choice. It shouldn't be because you're not given that option just because of where you are in the world. I personally have a little experience with the Creator Rewards program because my TikTok account is registered in France, and so when I realized that, oh, I can monetize my content, and I worked towards that goal of getting 10,000 followers, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I'm finally going to be earning money from my views. But once I got into the rewards program, I realized, oh, it's not that easy. I quickly realized that even if you're in these countries where you can monetize your views on TikTok, there are so many rules that comes with monetizing your content, and one of those is that the only kind of views that you're going to be able to monetize are those that come from those few countries that are able to monetize monetize their views. So taking me for example, I was creating a lot of content that was geared towards a Kenyan audience. Even for videos where I was getting over 400,000 views, I wasn't getting any money because people who were watching were in Kenya. The only time I was able to make a couple cents of euros were when American audiences watched my content. This was really shocking for me because it's like, even if you are in these countries but majority of your audience is like a global audience from majority of these countries that are not able to monetize content on TikTok, your views are basically useless. I really don't understand why this is so. So it's not just the fact that this monetization is not available globally, it's also the fact that even the people who are able to monetize their views, they are able to only monetize on views from people from these countries that have been deemed valuable by TikTok. They call it qualified views. You might find that you get 5 million views on TikTok, but only 2 million views are qualified. That means out of the 5 million views, you're only going to get paid for the 2 million views. It's so shocking to me, honestly. And this is the perfect recipe for burnout, which is one of the things that is going to make it hard for you as a TikTok creator. I think basically almost all creators are always at risk of burnout, but TikTok specifically is a short form platform and a lot of the content is snackable content. You have to create videos almost on a daily basis, and when you see a lot of these big creators on TikTok, they create like 5 videos per day. That is almost like 35 videos a week. That is the perfect pipeline to a burnout, you know, because a lot of people are creating on TikTok. It means that the competition is so high, and if you want to stay relevant, if you want to keep up, your output needs to be up. Before I decided to focus on YouTube, I was creating every single day for 2 months, 3 videos per day, and by the end of those 2 months I was so tired, and I remember just sitting down and asked myself, I have created all these videos and what have I gotten? What have I even gotten? That's how I was able to learn that the perfect platform for me, according to my long-term goals and also according to how I wanted to create my own content, was YouTube. And I was able to fully move to YouTube without always thinking, oh, maybe I should go to TikTok, maybe I should go to Instagram, because that experience had really shown me very clearly what I wanted and what I didn't want. Another thing that can cause burnout as a TikTok creator, especially if you're someone that is monetizing their content through the Creator Rewards program, for your video to actually qualify for monetization, it has to appear on the FYP. And for your video to appear on the FYP of so many people, because you want to make money and you need a lot of views, your content has to attract a lot of people. And this is where you're always hearing a lot of social media coaches talking about the hooks that are going to hook people into your content. That's why you see a lot of people are leaning into controversy, because that is what creates views. It's the game of viewership, and this is just so draining. When you listen to a lot of TikTok creators talking about their challenges, they always talk about, I am in the 300 view jail, I have been shadow banned. Or you haven't been shadow banned, it's just that your content is not very interesting. Remember, we are living at a time where a lot of people that are finding success on TikTok are creating really controversial and polarizing content. If you come there with your authenticity and you are trying to be nice, a lot of audiences on TikTok don't find that interesting, because remember, a lot of them are not interested in watching, they are just swiping. The default for a lot of users on TikTok is just reacting to things. For you to get people to react to something, you have to say something that is shocking, that elicits an emotion, whether it's immense joy, immense anger. These are the things that are going to make your video be seen by a lot of people. Once it's seen by a lot of people, then it's pushed to the FYP, then that's how you're able to make money or even get followers. And trying to create videos like this is just so draining, because each and every time you're trying to think of how can I make people react. This brings me to the other reason, which is TikTok has a lot of hate. I think majority of short form platforms just come with a lot of hate, basically because a lot of people are just reacting. A lot of people don't want to listen or comprehend or even understand context. I mean, if you're creating a short form video, surely most of the times it's not really easy to fit context into it, because remember, you want it quick and people just want it to be quick. And this basically means, because a lot of people are just reacting and reacting, you as a creator, most of the times you are at the receiving end of a lot of hate. Remember the time that one of my videos got a lot of hate? When I looked at the data, it showed me that people were only watching for 2 seconds. So these people just had what I said in 2 seconds. Then they started bullying me. I was even sent a lot of death threats. Can you imagine how ridiculous it is that you say something that someone doesn't like and they think that it's appropriate for them to send you a death threat? And they didn't even listen to anything you said in the video. They just had 2 seconds. And you know what's even more interesting is the fact that when a lot of people leave hateful comments, the algorithm thinks that, oh, your video is so engaging, then it pushes it out to more people that are going to bring in more hate to you. And this is actually going to affect you mentally. In the real world, such things don't happen, because when you say something that people don't even like, they don't send you death threats. If you're someone who wants to create an impact or spark conversations with your content, it's really hard on a platform like TikTok, because a lot of people are not willing to listen. A lot of people just want to react. The room for nuance is also not there. And ultimately, because a lot of people are just reacting in the extreme ways, it quickly becomes a toxic environment for you as a creator. I also find that TikTok is more like a lottery platform, because each and every video that you're posting on that platform, it's like the first video that you're ever posting, because it's always going to a new audience. As I said before, TikTok as a platform is audience focused, not creator focused. So it is always prioritizing the interest of an audience member. Each video that you're putting up on the platform, it's going to the people that could be interested in that kind of content. And this is why if you really want to grow on TikTok, you have to stick to one type of content with the same format, so that it can be fed to the followers that have already shown interest in that kind of content. On a short-term level, that works, but long-term, there are people who do this, but I myself couldn't imagine myself doing the same type of content with the same format for a really long time, because it's not only boring, but you can imagine once you start growing and a lot of other aspiring creators are saying that you're growing, they'll try to copy what you're doing. After some time, if everyone else is doing what you're doing because they were copying you, do not have a differentiation factor, and that is going to make people not want to follow you anymore. But if you change up your style, you're also risking losing the followers that you already have. Really just like gambling. I would say almost all social media platforms are like that, but some others are much better at helping you to build a community, like YouTube, than TikTok, where it really prioritizes users and their interests instead of actually even thinking about how they can help creators to create community. When it comes to the discovery of your content, I will tell you for a fact that TikTok is one of the better platforms, because until now I have people who are discovering videos that I created in 2022. But something that really came to light recently during the TikTok ban in the United States, it became very clear that there is a discrimination in discovery, in the sense that for a lot of people in the United States, they have access to the global users on TikTok. If you're creating, for example, from Kenya, the platform limits you to the people who are in Kenya. There's so many people who talk about how a lot of American creators are always being shown on the FYP because that's what a lot of people want to see. But I've realized, even with my own FYP, that when something is happening in the United States, even when I'm not searching for it, I get a ton of American creators speaking about that specific thing when it's not something I'm interested in. This just goes to show that TikTok as a platform is always prioritizing creators from Western countries and pushing them to the global audiences. But if you're someone in a country like Kenya, TikTok is not pushing your content to the global audience. And this basically means that even if you're so talented as someone in a country like Kenya, you do not have the same opportunity as someone in America, because for them, they have access to the global audience, and for you as a creator, you only have access to your regional audience. And I would probably say this is due to advertising value. Perhaps TikTok sees American creators and audiences as more valuable to advertisers than many other audiences, and advertising value is the value of PR, advantage that a client would have based on media coverage. And I would say, because we live in a capitalistic system, advertising value is very important. And if you're being honest, it is the West that is always creating and pushing the trends on consumerism. So obviously, TikTok is a platform that prioritizes its business partners, will want to ensure that their business partners are getting the most return on their investment. And this is why you always find that when something is happening in the United States in terms of consumer trends, it easily permeates into other parts of the world. And this is all organic. This means that it's helping a lot of these brands to build international PR, because TikTok is prioritizing American creators or Western creators to other parts of the world. The last reason that could be a potential threat to a lot of creators is the banning of the platform. It's already happened in the United States, and as I said in a previous video, it could be setting a bad precedent for a lot of many other countries. The fact that TikTok has affiliation with China, you know, many other countries might decide, oh, we do not want a platform that is affiliated with China in our own country. And if you are a creator who has really invested a lot in the TikTok, you're the one that is going to be heavily impacted, and that's not going to be good for you. So those are some of the reasons why TikTok could be the worst platform for you as a creator. Of course, course, if you are someone that has experience with creating on TikTok, feel free to share your experiences in the comment section. And just a reminder, this episode is also going to be available on audio on Spotify.